go live a great story. Go live a great story. Do the things other people won't do. Like, make the choices, do things, and I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know, we're all put here to live a great story for Jesus, and that story will impact somebody. So your story has to be unique to you, because my story is going to impact certain people, but there's parts of, my story that's not going to reach the people your story will reach. And so live your story and be proud of it and share it and not be afraid. And, and that's what I get from it. We're just continuing to live the story God's called us to live.
Welcome to another episode of the Juggling Life Finding Balance podcast. I'm your host, Vivian Cummins. Today, I'm continuing my conversation with Brooke Tilghman. If you recall from last episode, Brooke is the wife to Todd, the season 18 winner of The Voice. Be sure to go back and catch that amazing episode where we talk about their life prior to The Voice and how God orchestrated everything and prepared them for fame. In today's episode, Brooke shares some of the intimate details of their journey from Todd's first audition to the moment he was announced the winner, proving that God does have a good and perfect plan for all of us. All we have to do is trust Him. So come on in and enjoy this conversation with my new friend, Brooke Tilghman. Welcome back, Brooke.
Thank you. I'm excited.
I'm excited to have you back too. This is part 2. So if those of you who are listening and watching have not yet listened to part 1, please go back and do so. We talked about how God uses ordinary, authentic people to do amazing things for His glory. And so we don't have to be qualified. We just have to be willing. And Brooke and Todd, her husband, are amazing examples of what God can do in and through those who obey. So, Brooke, let's dive in. We want to talk a little bit today about your journey, your family's journey to the hit television show, The Voice.
Yes.
And I read where it was actually you who kind of nagged your husband, Todd, to go try out. Is that true?
Yeah, I'm the pusher. I tend to be like, and honestly, in all like being truthful here, I just thought it'd be a great story to tell the kids. Like, we literally had just I had a makeup conference thing I had went to, and we had just gotten back, and he was like tired, and he had took me all the way up there, and he's like, it was all the way in Atlanta, Georgia, and we were in Mississippi, and he's like, I just don't, I'm not feeling it. I'm not gonna go. I just feel like it's not gonna be anything anyway. And I was just like, babe, like, we tell our kids, like, what, because that's me. I'm like a big, like, do things for shock value. Like, I don't know, me and my oldest are that way. And I'm like, it'll just be a fun story. Again, story, like, we can tell the kids or we can tell people you did it. So I kind of, push that. I'm like, you'll regret it, if you don't do it. And yeah. And so he did go, and that started the wild ride, but yeah, I was the pusher. I'm always the gas. I'm always the gas. He's the
You're always the
brakes.
gas.
I
Todd's
am
always the
always the
brake.
gas. I am
Yep.
extra all the way.
Yes. So did you have, okay, obviously you guys watched The Voice because this was season 18 that he went and tried out
Oh,
for. So
uh-huh.
did you ever in previous seasons ever think, hey, Todd, you should probably go try out for this?
Honestly, I watched some of the beginning seasons, but I hadn't watched it in forever. Like
Oh,
back when it
really?
first started. Yeah, so
Yeah.
when he actually got well, we knew he was in the process because it's a long process to get, a blind audition. I started watching the season that was on because I'm like, I need to be prepared for this just in case. Like, I better watch and see what they even do now. Like, I don't even know.
Right.
Like, yeah, I knew like the judges turn around and like all that, but I was like, I don't really know. So yeah, it was kind of wild. Like, I started watching this season while he was actually in LA doing the process. I started watching the season that was on, and so it was wild, yeah. But I wasn't super prepared. No,
Well, I mean, what even prompted you to start talking to him about it in the first place? That's so
well,
weird.
it's literally like a friend of his sister, wasn't even a friend of his, and like literally, she sent an email and like because Todd had started doing these like little covers on Instagram, and he was just kind of banging it out on the piano, just just doing something. And she's sending, like, this email where you can, like she's like, "You should try out for The Voice." And it was so random, but so God. God can be in the random, and he went to the open call, and the rest is history.
So when he in your book, and I don't think I mentioned it here. Let me put this one up on the camera so everybody can see this is y'all's book. And I was reading in it how he only took like one set of clothes
He
for the
did.
first audition because he didn't expect anything
He
to
didn't think he
happen.
would get called back. He actually knew that they'd call you back the next day,
Yeah.
but he didn't think that he would get it, bless his heart. I mean, he just didn't. And
Did
so,
you? What were your thoughts? What did you think?
you know, I'll be honest.
Okay,
I
be honest.
I thought that he would like, I know he can sing. Like, I know
Mhm.
that. But you don't ever know what they're wanting on the show, and he was older, so I didn't know that he would get on the show. I thought he would make it through, like, I thought they would like him, like, they would think he could sing, but I know that's not what it's always all about either, so I didn't know. I was hopeful, but I was more confident than he was that he would make it through that round. Now, actually getting on the show, no, I didn't really think that was gonna happen, I'll be honest.
Well, and I think sometimes too though is I don't know. Tell me if this was true with you guys. But there's that part of you that thinks this can't happen to me. I mean,
Yeah.
this is something that happens to other people, younger people, people with more stage presence or, not pastors with 8 kids and
No,
a
like,
wife.
it's literally, like, people that wanna be pop stars or these
Yeah.
God says young, beautiful people, like, it's not the old pastor from your town in Mississippi, and, like, if you think about it, like, I mean, I don't even know what season we're on now, but, like, I mean, at the time, like, season 18, I mean, there had only been 18, like, that is not who thinks you're gonna like, remember, you have to sign, like, all these contracts, and Todd, like, I remember him telling me, he's like, "Oh, I just signed it," because he's like, "It's not like I'm gonna win." I mean, you just don't think, like, out of all these people, I'm gonna win to be the one person. You just don't think it. Like, I thought this is gonna be a fun story and it'll be a fun adventure to do and try and see what happens, but did I ever think that we would win? No. Like,
Yeah.
no. I didn't
It
even think
never
we'd get a
crossed your
show.
mind
Yeah,
that this was a God
no.
thing. No. Okay.
After he got on the show, yes. Like,
Okay.
as it progressed, yes.
I think there's a big distinction here between God given dreams and God given favor and doors of opportunity because I think it's important that, if God has planted a dream in your heart, that you do, maintain that level of positivity, saying, if this is God's will, it's going to happen. And, you go with it with that at the forefront versus wow, this just landed on my lap. I don't know if it's God's will or not. So I think there's a difference there. I mean, I know there's dreams in my heart that God's planted and I'm like trusting him that they'll come to
Right,
fruition
they're
because
gonna
they're from
happen.
him.
Mhm.
But in y'all's case, that wasn't even
It was just
in
a
the
wild
beginning
it's
at
like
all.
Todd always says, like, I, like, slipped on a banana peel and ended up on The Voice. It was not
Yeah,
a plan,
right.
it wasn't a dream of his, it wasn't
Mhm.
now, I guess in some ways, him being able to provide for his family, doing what he loves to tell stories and songs, and he loves to he loves music, he really connects. I think that's the authenticity that's in him really connects in music. But as far as, like, it was just this opportunity I think though, really, because Todd had already been feeling a shift from pastoring, but he didn't know what he was gonna do, and I think God knew that he needed that big of a because he's a play it safe guy. He's like a bird in the hand. I'm the 2 in the bush, you know? There's 2 in the bush, maybe, like, I'm gonna go for it where he's a bird in the hand. So I think God knew he needed that big of an element to make that transition, and God used that. That was the avenue he chose to use. It was a
Yeah.
trusting God experience too because we didn't know, like, did God just he might just wanna get us on the show, have a we had no idea, like, what God's ultimate plan was in it. We were just trusting him and saying, "We're gonna walk through this open door and hopefully show people Jesus," and at every opportunity that we had, you know?
I love that. So he goes through the first audition and they say, "Hey, you made it through." Calls you. What was that conversation like?
It was wild because the next day, the one that he didn't think he was gonna get called back to,
Yeah.
that he had to go buy clothes, was
Mhm.
Sunday, so we had to get somebody to do church. Well, I mean, I was there, but we got somebody to kinda step in and, like, so it was wild, and while he was doing the second one, church was going on, so I was, like, at church,
Oh
couldn't
my
wait to hear
gosh.
from him. I remember one time in the part of the process, I was in dirt cheap. It's like a thrifter paradise, but it's, and, like, waiting on him, and he called me in dirt cheap. So it was like a great moment. But, yeah, it really was our whole life, we were always waiting for the shoe to drop because that's what had always happened to us. We'd always good things would happen, and then where's the bad coming? God made me a promise in a God wink way. I was going to it was actually like a children's consignment sale that I shopped every year. I took my kids' clothes, but they had furniture, they had everything. And when I went to drop my stuff off, I saw this big, huge picture and it said, "Love you." And it was wood and it was just, and I was like, I loved it and I wanted it, but I knew like they let all the workers shop first. Like I knew there was no way I was going to get it. Like it was up there. It was huge. You could see it. It was like, and at the time I just like, it's not going to be there. There's no way by the time I get to shop, it's not going to be there. And I remember the Lord just telling me, it's just about he's like, "That picture's gonna be there. It's gonna be my proof to you. The bad thing is not gonna happen this time." And I know that may sound crazy to people, and I literally remember walking in, and this was in the middle of The Voice season. I remember walking in, and I didn't see it at first, and I thought, "Ugh, like, I
Oh,
didn't
there's
hear
that
from the Lord." You
shoe.
know how. Yeah, and then I looked
Mhm.
up, and then there it was. And I still have
Oh,
this picture in my house to this day. I will never get rid of it because it was, unless the Lord tells me to give it to someone.
right.
It literally was, and then I just made this correlation not even that long ago. Like, the picture literally says, "Love you." Like, it's God to me saying, "I love you." Like, it was the best God wink, like, and the bad thing didn't happen. The other shoe didn't drop. We kept getting yeses. God was so in it. He was so
Yeah.
in it.
I love that story. I love that yeah, it's just little things like that that
Mhm.
nobody it won't mean anything to anybody else, but I'm sure every
Right.
time you see that picture,
Mhm,
you're reminded of
mhm.
God's goodness and how much he
Yes.
loves you and how
Mhm.
much,
He
that
keeps his
he just
promises.
he promises that it was
Yes.
gonna be okay this
Yes.
time. I love
And
that.
and and it
Oh,
just those are my like, and to other people are like, "I don't know," "That sounds silly." I mean, but I'm like, "But it's God knew how to speak to me. It was
that's how he
important to
spoke to
me."
you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
it was a way, and then I had that memento for me, like
Mhm.
a memorial forever,
Yeah.
in my
Oh.
home that reminds me God keeps his promises to me,
Mhm.
and he's a good God and a good father.
Yes. You mentioned the COVID, but before COVID
Mhm.
hit, um, you and your oldest son, Egan, got to go to watch Todd
Yeah.
audition in front of the judges. And just for everybody to remind you who the judges were in season 18, it was Blake Shelton, Kelly
Mhm.
Clarkson, John Legend, and Nick Jonas.
Yes.
And you guys were just praying for 1 chair. That was like, "You know what? We just want
Right.
1 chair." But he had
Right.
4 chairs turn. So
Mind
tell
blown.
us oh my gosh, tell us what that felt like. What was the experience standing backstage, watching your husband perform, and then seeing all 4 chairs turn?
It was surreal. I really don't know how to explain it, but surreal. Like, it didn't feel real. Like, it just walking out on that set, I was probably more nervous than he was. I don't know, maybe not, but I was so nervous. He was a rock star. He went out there and just like he always does, just he took his moment and with the Lord's help, and it was just, I don't know, it was just one of those moments that I'll have forever etched in my mind, that God has been so good to us. And, I don't know, like, I was so proud of him and so proud of our family for taking the risk and doing what we've always done things different than other people. We have a ton of kids, we adopted, we homeschool, we have even a different philosophy in that. The way we just have always done things out of the ordinary. And so I was just like, I was so proud of our family for like, we're not scared to take risk and see where it takes us and just trust God. Like,
I love that.
so
I love it. Um, did you and Todd have
Mhm.
conversation that if by chance more than 1 chair turned, who he would go
the-
with or who he was hoping to go with?
yeah. It was Blake all the way up until right before we were, talking, and he started a little bit thinking about Kelly Clarkson because he would have loved to duet with her. Like, I think their
Oh.
voices, she's a real
Oh,
powerhouse singer.
yes.
And so he was kind of thinking, like maybe. And so I kind of wasn't sure because, like, even like Carson Daly asked me, he asked me, like, who do you think he's going to pick? And I'm like, I f I think he's gonna pick I feel like he's leaning Blake, but I'm not sure, like, I'm not sure because I really wasn't in that moment because that was our last conversation, he was kind of wavering a little bit, but when and you don't get to hear all they do much longer spills than you actually get to hear on TV, but when they let Blake go last, and when Blake went and everything he said, I was like, "Oh, he's picking Blake." I knew it then, like, I was like, "There's no way he's not gonna pick Blake," and he picked Blake. So and that was perfect.
I think a lot of people probably wanna know, after the show, and I'm digressing from our question, sorry, but I think a lot of people wanna know after the show, is there still that, whether it's a professional or a personal relationship with the coaches
Yeah,
or
you
the
still
coach
I
that you
mean,
chose?
it's not like, "Hey, we're all gonna hang out next week," but
Barbecue,
there's
come on to the
yeah,
house.
yeah, I wish, that would be awesome. Blake, if you're listening,
Invite us
but
over. He's from Oklahoma, and so am I, so you know
yes,
what? I feel
yes.
like,
He is the most
we're
down
fun.
to earth, like, because 'cause we've done the Grand Ole Opry with him. He actually got Todd on the Grand Ole Opry, and,
Oh, that's wonderful.
he's the most down to earth person, period.
Yeah.
He is a great guy. So yes, there is still like, he has
Mhm.
opened doors and helped Todd in ways, and, do you get to just hang out every day? No. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody's lives are crazy busy, but other moments you get to reconnect and get to do things together, yes. So
That's awesome.
and then, of course, when he went off the show, we got to go back for his final,
Mhm,
his going away, so we got to go
mhm.
back to LA, got to have, like it was like a big party after and got to hang out with,
Fun.
the coaches that year, and it's a lot of fun. So, yeah, it's been
Yeah.
it's just a wild experience to actually be in LA, like, kinda having a little after party with Kelly
Yeah.
Clarkson and Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani and, Chance the Rapper. It was just, really cool. It was a really cool
Fun.
it's been really cool, fun experience.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So, going back to COVID.
Mhm.
So, you'd gotten through all of that, COVID hit, and I think there was a time, there was kind of like a lull where
Mhm.
nobody was doing anything because everybody's trying to figure out
Right, how to
to
handle it.
how to do this, right?
Yeah.
So they sent the equipment to your home. You
Mhm.
all said, "We can't have this in the house 'cause kids are gonna
We
destroy it."
have
So you took it
yes.
to your church. So you took it to
Yes.
your church. Okay.
Yes.
Now, I love that, and because the church and who y'all are and your family, it it just makes perfect sense
We
to
did.
do this there, and what a beautiful way to elevate the Lord and to show how he is just kinda working through this whole thing with you guys. So, the one thing that really, and I have goosebumps now just thinking about it, when, Todd sang, for the finale,
Mhm.
I would love for you to share with us the song that he chose and how precious it was that he got to do it on the church stage.
Oh, yeah, it was such a God moment, just I can't give away show secrets, but
Yep.
just the way God orchestrated behind the scenes for him to get to
Mhm.
do that song, I can only imagine, was a God story in itself, and it was such a cool thing, but we were doing it from our church, and, like, literally, it was such a mad rush to get it was crazy on the finale to get all that stuff in. They even let my oldest son, Egan, because they'd gotten to know him because he had helped them through the whole, like, production when we're doing this at the church. They let him set the stage, like, they had gotten so behind and stuff had come in late. They're like, "We trust you. You set like, you decorate up, like, you use the stuff." So that was just cool in itself, and then we were actually laying down behind some stuff, so you can't see us, but we're, like, right over there, so you could, like, hear like, it was a wild day, literally in between some takes, Todd was laying down asleep, they had to wake him up, because it was nonstop. I don't even know how he, like, made it through the way like, we literally had they sent in, like, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of lights, like, that we had to put up. Thank God his brother worked for a company like, it was wild, like but it was just an all moment. I always say full circle where God brought everything full circle for us. Like coming in and going out, it should have been off that stage. His whole where he started singing was there, and it just felt very full circle. God does things, he does it in a complete way. He brings like I don't know, they have such meaning, and it was very meaningful. Todd says all the time, if we wouldn't have been at the church with our kids in that moment, he doesn't think he would have won, you know? And I mean, maybe we don't know, but I definitely think God orchestrated it. At first, it was devastating when COVID, we thought he's going to miss out on all the like, and in the end, God used it, I think, to our advantage. And it was just these beautiful moments that our family and friends and people got to be a part of that they wouldn't have been able to if it was any other way. It was just a beautiful moment and that he got to show a part like, 'cause up until that point, he hadn't got to really people knew he was a pastor, they talked about they showed some things, but he hadn't really got to sing anything from that perspective of, you know, and his first love is doing worship, and so it was just amazing that God and I was I actually really like that God waited to the end because I felt like it gave an opportunity for people that maybe would just be turned off, like, he's just another he's just they're just a Christian." Like, maybe get to fall in love with him and then get to see that side of him and see I think God does things in the best way. So
Ah,
that it was just
I
a
love
it was just
that.
perfect.
It was, and you you said something there, and you mention it, or y'all mention it in your book, that the people did fall in love with Todd over the season,
Mhm.
and, he sang secular songs,
He
which I
did.
think it was perfect because had he had
Mhm.
gone in there, singing praise and worship or whatever,
Some people
people
would've
may they would have been turned off, and they
yeah,
wouldn't have given him the opportunity to, let God shine through him and
yes.
to see that he's just a down to earth, authentic person, pastor and
Right.
stuff, and so, again, I think all of that was God's design and to bring it for full circle to your
Mhm.
church, and weren't you guys even married on that stage?
Yes,
Yeah.
married on that stage, our kids have been dedicated on that stage. I had bawled my eyes out in the toughest season of my life at
Yeah.
those altars. It's just,
Yeah.
you know, it was a church that built us. That's what I
Oh,
like to say. So
yes,
it
perfect.
was yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I recently went online because I wanted to see if I could find some footage of that, and it's out there. It's out there. The video of him performing that, and having met the both of you now and read your book and knowing your story, I just watched. I watched it twice, and I just cried. Number one, I can only imagine always brings me to tears, but just seeing how God worked through something like The Voice to just highlight, who he is and stuff. It was the most awesome, thing for me to just witness all of that and knowing you guys. So I can only imagine how it was for you.
It was amazing. It was an amazing
Yeah.
experience. It was wild though.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of everything mixed into
Yeah.
one, but it was the people of God coming together to make it happen too, the people that loved us. I always say that, God the goodness of God is shown through his people, and The Voice really opened my eyes, like, we were not deserving. I'm like, "We don't deserve this," but it was like, God showed me how good he was through people, and that's just that's what we're supposed to do, like, the goodness of God is shown through people, he has to do it through people, and so it was just this beautiful moment of the people of God coming together.
So there's also a clip out there that I pulled down, that is the moment that's leading up to the announcement of
Mhm,
who the winner was,
mhm.
and, so your family's all standing there. My goodness, what was it like to hear that he won? I mean, we see your emotions, obviously, but what was that like for y'all?
Oh, wow. Man, it was we had prepared the kids in the commercial break because they would go to commercial break like, "Okay, we're going to commercial break." When they told us before the break, they're like, "Okay, we're not gonna count down 3, 2nd place winner, what we're just gonna go the 3 that's left, we're just gonna go to the winner." And, so, we prepped the kids. We were like, "Okay, they're gonna come on the screen, they're gonna announce the winner. Do not cry. Do not make ugly faces. Like, clap your hands and smile. They're gonna take us off the screen, and then we can cry. Then we could be upset, but, like, do not, but, like, yeah, we prepped them. They were so nervous, but we did really prep them thinking, because we knew we were gonna be on the screen and they're little kids, we just prepped them, and I don't know, it felt like it took forever for them to say the winner, and then I really think we were in shock. Like, I remember Todd's brother was holding the little popper thing because they'd sent all these things that and I remember thinking, I would hate to be him because I know I would pop it regardless whether we won or not because
Just
you're
out
so
of
nervous. You wanna
nervousness.
pop I would pop it, and we didn't even win. I said, "That's what's gonna happen. They're gonna pop
Oh,
it, we're
no.
not gonna win, and we're all gonna be embarrassed."
On live
Like
television.
confetti flying, and we're like, "No, we didn't win. It wasn't us."
Oh,
But,
that's
like,
funny.
yeah, I will say this, and I mean this. You get very few perfect moments in life, and that was a perfect moment for our family, and it just was, and that was because of God in it, not because it was the boys. It was a perfect moment. It was a moment in life where all the hard work, all the stuff we put into it, all the, like, worries, fears, doubts, and then also God's promises, and the other shoe didn't drop. Like, it was I don't know, it was you just don't get you get very few of those moments, and that was one of those perfect moments for us and our family, and it'll be forever etched in our mind, forever etched out there in, like, social media world or whatever, out in the universe out there, and it'll be a memory that we have and a moment we have that it was just a perfect moment because God was in it.
I love it. Yep, and you share it with your generations to come with your
Yeah,
family.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So did the, did that newfound fame, have an effect on you guys after that?
I mean, for me, like I said, it was the goodness of God seeing because I
Mhm.
just knew we were regular people. Like, there wasn't nothing really special about us other than lots of people can sing, and it was the people did the hard work. They voted. Todd said, like, he didn't even vote. He's like, I felt weird voting for myself, but I felt weird voting for other people. So he didn't
I
even
just didn't
vote.
vote.
Yeah, he just didn't vote. And so it was like they did the work. And so it was wild to be thrown into this world where you're kind of semi like celebrity, a little bit, for especially for a season right after it's a lot. And you're not used to that. And but for me, I'm still a stay at home mom. My house is still a wreck. My kids, like, literally, we got to meet I remember the, governor in Mississippi, and I had this picture, it's my favorite picture because Louis, the one we said is our feral child, he's just wild and free. He literally, like, we were meeting, like, and it was real prestigious, and, like, he's, like, laid out on the floor, like, sprawled all the way out, and they got, like, the mask on and trying to be far away, and I was like, "Wow, this is just the perfect picture of, like." So, to
This is
me,
us.
yeah, this is us. I knew, like, we're not nothing to be, like, we're just normal people, and a lot of people think when you win The Voice, it's like like Todd says, it's a yellow brick road to great, but it's not. It's a lot of hard work. It's not like you go on and live this rich superstar life. No, that's not how it is. So we're just regular people, that has this I think extraordinary story, and that's why I challenge people, like, so many people in The Voice told Todd, it's like, "You have this great story," and he's like, "You know what? You guys are still young. Go live a great story. Go live a great story. Do the things other people won't do. Like, make the choices, do things, and I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know, we're all put here to live a great story for Jesus, and that story will impact somebody. So your story has to be unique to you because my story is going to impact certain people, but there's parts of, my story that's not going to reach the people your story will reach. And so live your story and, be proud of it and share it and not be afraid. And that's what I get from it. We're just continuing to live the story God's called us to live, and we are very normal people. If you see me out, speak to me. I will probably not look cute. Like, I'll just be
You
a mom.
always look cute. Every time I've seen you, you
My
dress so
kids
cute.
today, they're like, "What are you doing?"
I
I'm like,
love that you're a
I have a
thrifter.
podcast. I have
I
a
love that you're a
podcast.
thrifter. Yeah, yeah. I would love to go shopping with you,
Oh,
and I
hey,
would love
I
for you to dress me.
I would love to. I love styling. Like, that's the thing, like, I actually really love style, but it's just a lot of work, so I do it on, like, special occasions. Like, if we're going me and Todd have somewhere to go or, or, like, when we go to church, I'm like, I dress up too much, but I'm like, I don't otherwise I don't go anywhere. We live out in the country with the goats, and, like, I mean, I wear joggers and a T-shirt, and I go thrifting, and you gotta be willing to get dirty thrifting, so you're not gonna, like, dress up. So, yeah, but I do love it. I love putting a good outfit together for cheap. Like, it's just one of my fave things, so yeah.
Yeah. And I think that, this right here is what draws people to you, your husband, and your family because you are just down to earth and God's given you guys
You.
favor and you've stewarded it well.
Thank
And
you.
it's just such an inspiration for so many of us. So thank you for accepting the calling as you did.
Yes.
Thank you for nagging your husband to go sing on The Voice. All the
I still
things.
nag him all the time. Like,
I I
I
nag my husband all the time too,
I'm
but
like,
not
"Before you leave today, I
it's
need
because
you
I
to hang
love
some
him.
things." Like, that's just our job, like, I was just playing my role, that helpmate.
I know. No, well, I exactly. I don't like the word nag. I think that's kinda mean, but I
Hey, we
highly
encourage.
encourage. Yes. And I tell my husband, I was like, "It's because I love you."
I
Um,
encourage spiritly, like a spirit I'm spirited.
yes.
I'm
Yeah, because the
I'm
Bible
I'm
talks about
passionate.
nagging
I'm
wives, and
passionate.
that's a no-no, but so,
Yeah.
yeah, we gotta do it. We gotta do it spiritually.
There you go. There yeah, you just and you can be passionate about it. Nothing wrong
Yes.
with that.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
I always say you don't have a good woman if you don't have one that'll challenge you. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
I feel like all of us women get each other, but to men, all women are a little bit crazy, and you just have to pick your brand and understand, like, we're not crazy to each other. Like, we
Right.
get each other, but to men, we're gonna be seen a little bit crazy,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah, yeah.
okay. You don't have a
It's
good one
okay.
unless you have one that you think's a little, you know. I tell my
Yeah,
boys, pick your brand of crazy, and
and
there
go
you
with
go.
it. And go with it. I love that. Oh, I just love you. You're so cute. Um, Thank you so much for sharing over these
Yes,
last few episodes your family's amazing stories
it's
and
been a
providing
blast.
such inspirational encouragement. I'm wondering how might folks be able to, whether it's keeping in touch with you, following you guys, following Todd's music, or getting this fantastic book. Where can they do all this?
Okay, so I share the most probably of the more like family life stuff. So if you want to follow me, I'm Brooke Tilghman on Instagram and Facebook. Todd, he has Todd Tillman,
Mhm.
Facebook, Instagram. You can follow him. He does share a lot, but I'm the overshare. So if you're
Okay,
nosy,
right
make sure you
on.
follow me too. But if you want to know about his music, all the stuff that's going on, he does a lot more cool stuff than I do. But I share more
No.
information. So follow us both.
Yes, please.
And his website is toddtofficial.com, and you can go there. I think there's times he sells books on there. If you ever go see him anywhere in person, always has books and he will sign them. That's his favorite part is meet and greet. He loves to meet people. He's a people person like me. Sometimes I get to come with him, so you might get to meet me. A lot of times I'm home. But yeah, you can, and also Amazon. You can get our books on Amazon. And yeah, but I hope you get one. It's good. It really is. I'm
It
not
really
saying
is. It really is. I love mine, and I have a funny picture. I'm gonna have to send that to you so you can see. But he signed the book for me, and so did Trisha. But there's this picture where I don't know. He must have said something hilarious because I am laughing. My mouth is wide open. I'm just laughing, and I'm thinking, okay, that is not an attractive picture, but it was a fun moment. So
I wanna
I don't
see
know.
it, and we gotta
I'm
meet
gonna
so I
send
can
it to you.
sign it for you. You gotta have all of our signatures now.
I know, we have to get together now,
We'll have to
so
get
we'll
together.
figure it
Yeah,
out. You have a
we
son
will.
out this way, so
Yes,
we're gonna
we can
figure it out.
yes,
We're
we
gonna
totally
figure it out.
can.
Well, thank you so much, Brooke, for joining me and, for sharing all of the good things.
Yes,
Love you,
let's do it
friend.
again.
Thank you for joining Brooke and me again for this episode of the Juggling Life Finding Balance podcast. We hope you found this conversation encouraging and inspiring. Before you go, please make sure to like and subscribe to this podcast. Then head over to my website, viviancummins.com, and grab a free gift especially for you. Just click on the yellow button on the homepage and get yours today. Until next time, be blessed and stay balanced.